They just said to stay away from him.
He was spotted this morning, 200 pounds, 2 to 3 years old, one hungry black bear.
Oh, Dios mío.
By all accounts, it's pretty exciting. The talk of the neighborhood.
Everyone's here, like they're taking pictures and stuff.
I thought maybe it's a black cat, no, could be a black bear. It's a big, it's big. Okay.
That thing sure does like to climb.
It's more interesting than a cat, a lot bigger too. And people here can't stop watching him. Just ask Fiona Gordon.
He's like small. He's a small baby bear. And he's very cute, and he was in the neighborhood.
He hasn't attacked nobody.
Crystal Adams says this isn't the first time the bears come around.
Yeah, he was with the trash yesterday.
He comes for the trash, and along Chest Drive near Tudor Road this morning, there was plenty of it.
Oh man, this bear did a number on this.
Lots to snack on, an easy meal. But if the bear keeps coming back, the story won't end well for him. Rick Sennett with Fish and Game says it will have to be shot.
This bear has slowly decided that, well, that garbage looks a lot better than those berries.
And that makes Sennett very angry.
A lot of people don't get it about the garbage, so there's no excuse for having garbage sitting outside of a house.
Bear first was noticed. He was up in a tree over off of Center Drive.
There's not much Sennett can do. His only option is chasing the bear back into the park and hope it stays there. It didn't work today. Sennett will be back, and that's not a good thing for this bear.
This is the beginning of the end. In a few weeks, Clark Middle School will come down. Coming down first, a totem pole.
We just thought it was really important that we were able to demonstrate to the community that we were sensitive to the fact that we had a totem on site here. And with the building coming down, we wanted to make sure that we did it in the right way.
And so a traditional ceremony is held to say goodbye.
It's in respect to those who carved the pole and respect to who owned the pole, and there's also in respect to nature itself.
Just who are the totem's creators? Up until this ceremony, no one knew. Then, unexpectedly, a visitor shows up with some answers.
There were only 7th and 8th grade students that did it.
We were trying to find out who carved it and what the purpose was.
Yeah, it was students in 1968.
Glenn Bone was at home watching the news when he saw the totem pole he helped students carve out of a telephone pole almost 40 years ago.
But they did a pretty good job, I thought, you know, and they were proud of it. So they, after the principals and stuff saw it, they decided to put it out in the courtyard.
Now, 4 decades later, he says goodbye like everyone else, helping explain the past as a new future for Clark begins. For the front four, it was a more than 9-hour overnight trek up a very windy Yukon River.
Welcome to Eagle Island.
I think the antibiotics finally kicked in and my cold is starting to mellow out.
This checkpoint, a welcome break.
I don't like wind to start with. I just had enough of it. Go black dog.
Paul Gephardt, sick with a cold.
You eat yours.
And tired.
This is yours. Normally I can help him run up those hills. I just couldn't do it.
Still, Gephardt's hungry for a win.
It'd be nice to sneak up there and grab the championship once. That would be kind of cool, but we're not too far out.
Not too far out from Martin Boozer and Jeff King.
Like a rookie. I might call it my 24th rookie year.
Boozer, who's been leading most of the race, having some bad breaks.
Like I say, I'm just, riddled with issues.
Like a broken gang line, a dog fight forcing him to drop a dog today. And
it only popped once, but man, oh man, it popped so painful. I thought the whole thing was, I thought it was apart. I mean, I already saw the helicopter coming.
I don't think I've had an undue amount of bad luck myself.
Jeff King says a wrong turn cost him 2 hours. The Yukon wind slowing him down too.
Definitely going to separate the men from the boys on this section.
A section King's ready to conquer, pulling out of Eagle Island ahead of Boozer. His strategy?
Run longer, sleep less.
I'm confident that we'll have a good race.
And then there's the Lance factor.
Well, nothing against them, but they're kind of old. You know? I'm not. You know, they're all in their 50s. I ain't even reached 40 yet.
And he has beat Boozer and King before in the Kobuk 440 last year.
I know that is in the back of their mind. They don't want me tailing them, just like I don't want them tailing me. You know? So maybe, just maybe, the two of them are going to race each other into the ground.
All right. Late today with King and then Boozer racing for first on the Yukon, it seemed possible, but not probable. The stop in Unalakleet is quick. After just 4.5 hours, Paul Gephardt is out. Lance Mackey gearing up to be next.
We finally had a good trail with just the right opportunity.
Feeling more confident than ever after making up about 1.5 hours on the trip from Caltag.
You know, right at the moment, I'm pretty satisfied with where we're at. Yeah, you know, at the finish line, I think it would be a major disappointment not to be first.
And Mackey, out of Unalakleet second, has his motivation.
I ain't not one of those three that need a new truck as bad as I need a new truck.
Of course I want to go chase after him.
Not feeling as confident or fast, Martin Boozer.
You got to just take your time and do the right thing by the dogs. And just get slowly but surely get ready, and then we go. Yeah, this is why it's called a race, I guess.
She's more tough.
Even Jeff King, into Unalakleet first and out fourth, knows Mackey's a force.
I'm not saying he's going to win, but just to be here with dogs that just won the Quest 2 weeks ago, I'd have said that's impossible, and I'd have been wrong.
But as daylight breaks on the coast, anything seems possible. Mackey's pace continues. He skips Shack Tulik and only breaks for 3 hours in Koyuk.
I'm not so sure that it's too hard, too fast by this stage of the game.
And Mackey plans to push it all the way to Nome.
It's all or nothing. I ain't leaving nothing on the table.
Many said it couldn't be done, but at 1:30 Tuesday morning, Lance Mackey is about to prove them wrong.
So all of those folks that said it can't be done can eat their words. It can be done with the same team in the same year.
Barring a major disaster on the 77-mile trip from White Mountain to Nome, Mackey will be the first musher ever to win the Yukon Quest and Iditarod in the same year, with virtually the same team.
Look at them. They're incredible. They're absolutely incredible.
And that is only part of Mackey's success story.
Look at you a damn steak. You deserve it.
In 2001, he battled back from throat cancer.
You can have anything you want.
And when he crosses the finish line in Nome, he'll be wearing bib 13.
You know you're going to make history here, buddy.
The same bib his father Dick and brother Rick wore.
All right, you stay right there.
All three winners in their 6th Iditarod.
Thank you all for coming out. It's real nice.
Even Mackey's closest competitor.
I'll try and get there before you get to sleep.
Happy for his friend and comrade on the trail.
Have a good run.
Thank you.
We'll see you at Nome.
Sooner or later, I'll get there as fast as possible.
Good luck, man.
And if he does, Mackey will leave a historic legacy, one Alaskans will talk about forever.
It is absolute history, too. It's amazing.
Turnagain Arm is known for its blistering winds and ripping tides, but not today.
You kind of get the feeling here in Alaska, if it's beautiful, it's not windy, huh?
And that's why these guys are in Whittier, out-of-towners searching for something that so often is right in our face, the wind.
It's Alaska. You can't count on any of it, can you?
Just to go home and tell the folks at home in Hawaii that we windsurf in front of a glacier.
They're windsurfers.
No matter how dead it is, we ought to give it a go.
And some of the best in the world, like Rob Warwick.
It's a total addiction for me. It's no longer even a passion. Like I see the trees moving and I go friggin' nuts. I can't stand wind chimes and stuff like that.
And there were huge, and we drove in, and this was all ice field.
Also on board, 4-time world freestyle champion Josh Stone from Hawaii.
All the way there was white.
Enticed to Alaska by Eddie Petrocelli, the editor of Windsurfing magazine.
We've been hearing rumors about it for years, that people windsurf up here. We've seen some scattered footage of it, and I basically just wanted to come and see it firsthand and bring some pros with me to do a story on it.
They've been in Alaska a week. A fantastic trip, but one problem: no wind. Now with time running out on their trip near the face of Blackstone Glacier.
Look how massive it is.
A slight breeze causing barely a ripple on the water.
Rig them up.
These guys contemplate a move of desperation.
It definitely feels like enough wind for Rob to go out. I think it's time for Rob.
Rob can go. What? What do you think, Rob?
Let me finish this beer. No. Yeah, if you want me to, Eddie.
Would Rob's friends really want him to go into this water, icebergs and all, just to get a picture for the magazine? The group hasn't just been working in Prince William Sound. They've also been down here along Turnagain Arm, trying to capture the unique sight of a windsurfer riding a boar tide. Well, the wind conditions haven't exactly been optimal this week, but that doesn't mean they haven't caught some interesting images.
So cool.
On Monday, while scoping out a boar tide, they would have been surfing had there been wind.
Oh, I'm gonna get wet. Jesus. Oh, no. Oh,
They caught video of a hapless tourist from New York, caught by the wave.
I think he got his shot.
The guy emerged with a bloody leg and scarred ego.
Came big fast. Oh no!
Alaskans would know better than to stand in the path of a boar tide. And they probably wouldn't jump in a glacial bay.
That's pretty cool.
Normally I'm like it's like, I can't wait to get in this thing. I don't know about today.
Rob's from Oregon.
That was awesome.
There he goes.
Windboards in a strong gale piloted by a pro perform exceptionally. Take away the wind? Not so impressive.
Very cold.
As Rob managed to harness a few small whimpers of wind to tack around the bay,
that's unique.
The photographer fired off shots.
Rob, we want you downwind of the boat.
While Eddie Petrocelli wondered how he would explain this expensive trip to his publisher.
I have several bosses, and it took some arm twisting to get here because it was such a far trek, and also a little bit of roll of dice because we didn't really know what to expect.
The group leaves Saturday, disappointed with a week of calm sunshine in Alaska. In Prince William Sound, Jason Moore, Channel 2 News.
I've seen like 100 beautiful women here. Oh yeah, dude. Awesome.
Talkeetna.
Scary.
It's usually a place populated by more men
Crazy.
than women.
We want men. We want men.
But nothing is normal about this night.
They came out of the woodwork. It's the first time we've ever been outnumbered. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Not that anyone's complaining.
This is as good as it gets around here. Where's Jeff at?
Because tonight,
Now nerves come up. Great.
there is a big demand
Come on up, Jeff.
for Talkeetna bachelors.
Can I finish with that?
45 men from all walks of life are on display
61 or 65.
and on sale for charity.
Do you want to switch places with me?
The Talkeetna Bachelor Auction and Ball.
Sold for $70. Come on up.
And if one gets away,
125.
no bother. Tonight,
245. Come on.
it's a target-rich environment.
It is sold for $260.
And the guys are only happy to oblige. In this room, crowd favorites are not in short supply.
Where's the airport?
Nan Llewellyn and her friends
380, looking for 300.
began their quest hours ago on the streets of Talkeetna, where they proved why Alaska men like their women to know how to handle themselves
Put your back into it.
in the great outdoors. Especially for guys that aren't yet sourdough.
See all the women do and what they do up here, because I have no idea. So it'd be good to have a woman that can do what I can't do.
Nan has her own matchmaker.
We're gonna buy him husbands. Like, we're not leaving here without one for him.
Turn around. Nick, turn around and look the other way. Oh, he's a firefighter, too. You just keep looking good.
He's looking right at you.
But tonight, having a matchmaker can be a dangerous thing.
Oh, no, 220. You want to bet 250? She's going to bid against herself for 250. Thank you. God, I love you. Would you like to go 275?
Even with her friend's help, Nan gets her man. If you go next year, be careful.
Let's get my hands.
While the odds are good, you'll find a friend. As they say here, the goods could be odd. Sean Dugan, Channel 2 News.
Praise God. It's been a good day. This all well. It's very exciting. We're happy.
Word of the good news spreads through Barrow quickly.
We'll just dive from here.
And Paul Bodfish is the man who threw the harpoon and made the kill.
Power of prayer. Get that loop over here. Grab hold of him. Somebody grab hold of him.
Paul is part of Charlie Hobson's whaling crew, and they've just caught a whale.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
It's a family affair. Charlie's brother Patrick is a captain too. Their crews together on this particular hunt. There is celebration, but also a huge task ahead.
To pull it, right? We're going to pull on this long rope here, and it'll come together and bring the whale up.
Charlie keeps close watch. All hands are busy, readying for the heavy haul.
Okay, right there. All right.
When the pulling begins,
pull on it! Pull on it!
Progress is at first slow. Weighing 2,000 pounds per foot, all of this effort has the whale barely inching forward.
One more time, then bucket it.
After a brief rest, it's time to try again.
Amazing, huh?
It works.
Here it comes! These people come in that you don't tell them what to do. They're just hard at it. They know what to do. Walk away! Hey! Take a break. It's not going to slide off anymore. We got her.
And then the moment everyone has been waiting for.
Praise the Lord!
For Charlie, it is a moment of deep pride and joy.
Then we'll go home and cook for the people.
The feeling is shared by the entire crew.
Oh man, like you are on cloud 29. It's food for everybody. It's not just for the crew, because we're actually hunting for the whole town.
And it shouldn't surprise you that to feed the whole town, you need a town's worth of help.
It's a lot of work, but it's worth it because it's, good eating.
After the butchering begins, fresh muktuk is immediately cooked and shared. All the while, the work continues. And while this may not be your idea of rest and relaxation, it is paradise to others.
It's a vacation because I'm out here and it's like Hawaii out here to me.
Francine Hobson is Charlie's daughter,
And like everyone here, she too has a role.
Ooh, I'm hot.
Hers at the moment.
Wait, I'm gonna cut that one in half.
Making sure 28 piles of meat and blubber are all the same size.
Igasak! For you rock!
And that they get to the right place.
Ulimon! Allah!
For the Hobsons, it's an emotional day.
Did you see what happened? That just a few folk put about, 28-ton whale. That's amazing.
They've dedicated this whale to their mother.
My mother, she's gonna feed the community. Very, very good.
A gift brought by the sea, cared for by sons, a community nourished with a mother's whale.
It's mid-February at Anchorage International Airport.
Well, good morning.
Cold mornings on the Iditarod Trail are thankfully weeks away.
No, nothing there. I want those 2 pallets moved down here.
Iditarod volunteers have a lot of work to do.
This is where the hand truck needs to be able to come in.
The race behind the race is on.
Well, it's the preparation for any job.
Wendy Walters is an 11-year volunteer.
This is where the mushers will bring in food for themselves, supplies, and dog stuff.
I've been doing this since 1997.
Sonny Chambers, another veteran volunteer.
Just hand off each other. It's a lot of fun.
There you go.
Well, couldn't do it without all the volunteers for sure.
And certainly
got me winded, sorry.
not without Sonny.
It's a process that once we get through the first couple, it really flows.
It's quite the operation.
We'll take all the bags over to the weight. Whew, hold on a minute. I'm sorry.
No need to be sorry.
Takatna.
Not after 10 years.
38.
Of receiving, weighing,
and Vic.
And processing over 80 tons of food.
Jack Tule. 26. It's addicting. Jack Tule. Yeah, once you start, it's hard not to come back.
I will know anytime what is in which checkpoint.
Mushers know without this crew.
They're really the workforce of the race. We as racers, we really appreciate them.
And without another crew.
At 7 o'clock, there was a big fog bank over the lake.
There would be no race.
And Joe, you're inbound?
Roger that.
29 pilots.
Thank you, sir.
Will use their own planes to haul hay, straw, dogs, and all those food bags to checkpoints along the trail.
This one looks pretty short. Short enough.
Dr. Tim Scala has been a volunteer with the Iditarod Air Force for 12 years.
We all know they can't have the race without the supplies, and there's only one way to get them there. It'd be frightfully expensive if they had to pay for that.
I've never seen harder workers anyplace. I've always had the theory that if they started paying people, everybody would start griping.
It takes a whole lot of crazy people like us that just enjoy it.
And they better. There are plenty of miles to cover. 2007 Chief Pilot John Norris has been at it for 18 years.
And if it were equated into miles, we're flying over 200,000 miles of flight.
All here in some of the most rugged weather and terrain in the world.
Hello, Timmy.
His stop today, Squentna, one of the first checkpoints along the trail.
How many bales, Tim? 6? 7 bales. Oh, that's got to be close to a record.
Here, mushers will grab and go or stay for a break.
It's amazing what they do.
More volunteers pitch in to run the checkpoint.
Chance of a lifetime, to see this many animals and this many people going north.
The race behind the race, as meaningful to volunteers as the real race is to the mushers.
Most people have no idea of what goes on out here and making it all happen.
The McNeil River Lagoon sits 100 miles west of Homer. Nestled in Kamishak Bay, Mount Augustine steams in the distance.
Okay, guys, ready to walk?
In the summer months, only 10 visitors at a time are allowed to come here. Most days start the same.
We're going to walk on like a sandy beach here for a while, and then we'll get into the mud here at Mikvik. The notorious Mikvik mud.
Tom Griffin with the Department of Fish and Game is our guide for the day. Our small group heads toward Mikvik Creek, maneuvering through a grassy sedge, and then, as Tom calls it, the notorious Mikvik mud.
Here we go. Okay, this is real time here. You get about a good 4 to 6 inches.
It's not long before we catch a glimpse of why we all came.
So at a quick snapshot, that's either just a young juvenile or it's a small adult female.
The McNeil River Game Sanctuary is known not only for its high concentration of brown bears, but the unique experience Fish and Game has crafted over the last 40 years to walk among the bears.
And just with this small group, we have a rather non-obtrusive presence. And so therefore bears tend to totally ignore us and go about their daily life, fishing, grazing, what have you. And so in a sense, we get a really unique view into their world.
Bears move up and down McFick Creek. Only remnants of the June sockeye salmon run remain. A sow with 2 spring cubs feasts on the sedge nearby. Tom says it's the sedge and salmon that fatten the bears for winter. Male bears are known to kill cubs, and this one captures the cubs' attention. But no confrontation on this day. We move on, down to the lagoon, where low tide has drained it to only a few meandering streams. Prime time for salmon fishing. Lori Stender is from Eagle River. This is her 3rd trip.
The first time I remember asking one of the guys, the rangers with us, what should I do? And he says, just stand there, he's going to do a drive-by. And I said, what does that mean? He goes, he's just going to walk right by you. And sure enough, and we just stood there and he walked like 10, 15 feet from us. And kind of get, I don't know, it's kind of odd. You kind of get used to it out here, I think.
It's odd to be this close to wild bears and have no fear, only awe. The Rising family from Chicago just spent 4 days in the sanctuary.
The first day we lunched with the mother and 2 cubs. We were within 10 yards. They nursed, they played, they fell asleep. Eventually the mother left them next to us and went and ate.
Fish and Game calls these bears habituated. For their whole lives, the bears have been around people, unthreatening, and never have the bears tasted human food. The bears can be aggressive, but usually toward themselves. Tom Griffin carries a shotgun, but never a shot fired in anger.
I've seen a bear, maybe not this size bear, but I've seen a large adult male, over 1,000 pounds, eat 10 to 15 fish in one fishing bout.
In late afternoon, we arrive at the site for which McNeil River is best known, the Falls. The falls are about a mile upriver from the lagoon. It's the July chum salmon run the bears target here. 2 platforms overlook the spectacle. At one time this summer, 42 bears were seen at one time. Now, late in the season, we see about 15. These are the big boys. Guys like Luther, about 1,500 pounds, one of the biggest bears in the world. Biologist John Hechtel hopes people leave McNeil River with the understanding big bears aren't the boogeyman they're sometimes portrayed to be.
They're not monsters. They're animals that have reasons for doing things that you can understand. If you understand bear behavior and you understand how the role of aggression in a bear social structure, for the most part, even when you're out and about in places other than McNeil, you can really reduce your risk of having problems with bears.
The chum run is waning, but with a little effort, these guys do all right. Spectators spend hours, sometimes all day, on the platforms, mesmerized by the activity below.
We do a lot of traveling in the Yellowstone area, through the west of the lower 48. We've even taken safaris to Africa. I would rank this above that.
A rare glimpse of life in a far-off, wild place.